Hello, welcome to Script Time. My name is Christine, and in this video I'm featuring the pure origami paper from Yasutomo. And this is a great paper because it is color all the way through. So over the next 9 videos, I'm going to show you how you take this to this. All these papers are different colors on the back sides. But by using acrylic paint over them, we can create piles of collage sheets. There's a total of 9 videos that you can watch, including this one. And you can see, now I like to use origami paper because it's a nice weight. A lot of times I am just tearing them up and using them for collage, and they're nice thin, but not too thin. You can use them for die cutting. You can punch them out. But the other great thing of having it the same paper all the way through, because a lot of origami paper might be white on the back, is that even though I have all these greens and blues, when I tear it, you now have that pop of yellow coming through. So depending what colors you've used on top, you now have that extra color. And I just think by doing that, you've just amped up what you can do with these papers. So I just think they're really cool. And in that pack, you get 100 different colored sheets. So here's sort of like a brownish color, but yet I've done like purples on it. This one is green. The other great thing of using a sheet is that you already have a color. So you're not starting with a white paper to begin with. That color works into the design as well. Let's see. This one was green, but we are able to put all these colors, but you still get little tiny bits of that green popping through. So that's fun. Whereas here we have this really light colored paper, yet by putting in these different colored paints in that, it really pops. So if you rip it, you still get this interesting lighter color. Here we had a black sheet of paper, and you can see how I used some metallic inks on it. Paints, but that black is still popping through the metallics in that. So as I said, watch the next videos. I show you how I layer it. I show you how I pull some sheets out when I'm happy with the way they are. Like this one I stopped earlier on. It doesn't have all the white and the black because I just thought the background was interesting. And then you can use these, as I said, for backgrounds or cutting up and doing lots of fun things. Here we had sort of this burgundy paper, and I love how that burgundy is coming through with those green, sort of the patina colors. It makes for a really interesting collection. So yeah, by using these papers here, oh, you can see how dark blue that one was, yet the light colors worked on top of it, and you get some of that dark blue showing through. It's just so much fun. As I said, watch it, and it was the pure origami paper from Yasutomo, and I'll put a link to the paper if you're interested in getting it in the description below. But I really had fun making, this isn't even all the papers, 100 different collage sheets that I can now use throughout the next year in all my projects. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp onto some of the sheets just to add some texture. Now, a lot of this will end up getting painted over, so I'm not concerned about is the whole thing covered, as you can see from some of these examples here. It's just maybe where there's areas where paint doesn't go, this texture will pop through. So it's best if you have a background stamp. It's easiest to use. This one is 6 by 6, so it's the same size as the paper. And I am using the Ranger Black Archival ink. I always use Archival ink because it's oil-based and permanent, so when it mixes with paint, it's not going to reactivate. If you use a dye ink, if it gets wet, sometimes it will smudge or reactivate. So I use Archival ink, and I'm just randomly tapping it. And then I get my sheet of paper, put it on, just give it a rub. And as I said, this isn't a solid image, and I don't need it to be. And so it's splotchy, it's a little light, and that's fine because, as I said, once the paint goes over it, we may or may not see some of it. Now, if you don't have a large stamp, I have this background here that's about 4 by 4 inches. What I do, ink it up. And then I just sort of go in the corner, put it down, then I move the paper, and I move the paper. And then I have some texture there. So it doesn't matter if some's dark, some light, we're just adding background texture. And if you have a smaller stamp you want to use, then what I would do, ink it up. And then just sort of stamp it once, stamp it again. And I'm just sort of stamping off the ink. I don't even mind going the other way here, upside down. Because not only will, as I said, paint cover it, later on I'll be tearing these up and only using small pieces of each sheet at a time. So that's how you can stamp some texture on really quickly. I made my way through most of the papers, and then I saved some paper where I won't have stamps on them either. And if you have a sheet that you'd stamped on but you decide you don't, it's double-sided. You just flip it over and you can always use the back side of it. So step 1. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time videos on YouTube. In the meantime, here are a couple other videos you might be interested in watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.